What's going on out there? I had a couple of minutes at the end of my day, so I thought that I would make a quick video for you guys and talk to you about some different methods for working on some thoracic spine mobility, which is our spine that goes from about here to here. In the past, I've shown you some things with how to use a foam roller to correct for some of the flexion and extension problems that a lot of people have. Today we're going to focus on using the mobility peanut here to work on some of the rotational issues. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you a quick method to assess yourself to decide what side you may be having rotation issues on and whether or not the methods that we're using are actually going to help, because you can retest yourself at the end to see if it made a difference. So let's get started with that. First thing you're going to need is a PVC pipe dowel, something like this, or you can use a broom handle or something like that. All you need is a big long stick to use and a doorway. What you do is sit real close to the doorway, legs crossed like this, and this stick is going to be up across our shoulders, touching both sides and the collarbone. And then what we're going to do is rotate and try and touch the door jamb with the stick. You may find that you're going to have trouble going one way versus the other, or both, to where you can't reach there. So just keep a mental note of which side you're having trouble with and about how far away you are, and you can check back later to see if the stuff that we're doing is going to help. Basically, I'm going to have a little bit more trouble going to the left than the right, so I'm going to show you guys kind of how to work that kind of problem. So what we're going to use is this thing here, which is a mobility peanut. Essentially all it is two lacrosse balls that have been put side by side and taped together. You can also use a sock to put these things in and tie that in down, but they tend to slip and slide around a little bit, so I like to tape them together. So what we need to do is kind of put this on either side of our spine. So if the spine kind of runs up and down here like this little gutter here runs right where our spine is at, and these balls are on either side. For rotation, we're going to kind of bias it based on which direction we're trying to improve. So if I'm working on left rotation, so twisting this way, then I'm going to want to kind of tilt this thing at an angle to where this down ball is on the left side. If I had a problem going to the right, it would be just the opposite. We would turn it down this way so that we could work right rotation. So since I'm working left rotation, we're going this way, and I'm going to put it right down here in the spot on my back. And then what you would end up doing is working in little segment levels all the way up to the top. So I'm just going to show you how to work on one section, and then you can kind of extrapolate that information and just keep using it to go all the way up. I'll also show you a quick demonstration about how to use this for flexion and extension as well, if you just don't feel like the foam roll is getting in quite deep enough. So let's get started. So you're going to need to lay here on your back like we normally do. I'm going to take this thing and tilt it down to where the ball is going towards the left. Sit down on top of it there like this, and I'm just going to start by working with my legs, checking which side may be a little bit worse, and for me right now it's going over to the right. So I'm just going to spend a little bit more time just kind of grinding that out over to the right until it mostly feels like it's just pressure. So after I get that part done, what I would do is just cross my arms over the top, and then we're going to work rotation going in this direction and the opposite direction, just seeing again which side might feel a little bit worse, and we're going to just work that one until it feels like pressure. And I would repeat this process, just moving up my spine all the way up until it gets to around the base of my neck. If I wanted to work flexion and extension, what I can do is just turn the ball from being tilted like this to just going straight up and down. That's going to go again on either side of my spine. We'll pin it down there in the thoracic spine again. Pull the neck in towards the chest, lift the legs up, and then just kind of pump up and down over the top of that. And you can add that to any segment if you feel like it's going to help you work that out. So after I got done sort of working my way up from bottom to top, I would go and check myself again with the stick, and I probably noticed that I got a little bit more range of motion in the places where I was lacking it before. So once we have new range of motion, I like to add an exercise to kind of stimulate that range of motion, and one of the ones I like for rotation here is with a band. We just go down into an all fours position like this, get a little bit of tension on that band, and then we're just going to open up to the sky here and hold that against the resistance so that we're kind of grooving that new motor pattern that we created using the balls. And you can do it kind of both sides pretty easily, making sure that we're staying nice and stable through there. So after we've done that for a little while, everything feels nice and warm, then you could add these sort of movements, these transverse plane movements to your exercise routine, just to kind of get the most out of this and make sure that it's not sort of reverting back and becoming stiff over and over again, stiff, loose, based on how much mobility work we're doing. So I would recommend stuff like chops, or maybe wall ball twist throws, those sort of things, or even sort of Russian twists, in order to sort of groove those patterns a little bit more, make our body change and sort of hold that mobility work that we're doing. So if you keep working on this stuff, maybe once a day, once every other day, having problems with this should get less and less over time, and you should notice that you're really feeling a lot more free in those sorts of ranges of motion. As always, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to give me a call here at the office, and I'd be glad to answer anything for you. You guys have a good day. Take care.